Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cryptic Conversations. Trying something new today. I'm a big proponent of coming out in nature. Um, if you're familiar with the YouTube channel Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, he always does his videos out in nature. And I'm seeing a lot of different spiritual people doing the same. And I figured, why not? I spend a lot of time out here as it is, so why not record a video out here and show you that I practice what I preach. And so I'm out here getting some sun, putting my bare feet in the ground, grounding my energy. If there's two very important things that I could leave you guys with, two very important spiritual, whatever you want to call it, spiritual, energetic, healing techniques, it would be one, go out in nature, get some sunlight, and two, ground yourself, ground your energy. As I come out here, I start seeing more and more people doing the same. It's good. I like seeing it. I like seeing people coming outside, connecting with nature, Mama Gaia. But anyways, today's episode won't be too long. Um, I just want to talk about some things that are on my mind. I want to talk about um, my 1 year update since I took ayahuasca. My 1 year update, my 1 year review. But yeah, my 1 year update. Uh, I think I'll title this video "The Dark Side of Ayahuasca." And so the dark side of ayahuasca is you won't be the same person. You're not going to be the same person that you were. Um, and that might sound scary, right? But here's the thing. I'm the person that I was always meant to be. It healed me so much. It was the most profound experience of my life. And I know I talk about it a lot, and people might get tired of hearing me talk about it, but I think I'll probably preach this for the rest of my life. Um, I've always been a person that's been seeking for the answers. And if you're like me, if you're anything like me, a seeker, you know that there's more out there to this reality, to this life. If you're a seeker like myself, you'll resonate with what I have to say. But for those of you who are beginners on the spiritual path or have no idea about spirituality at all, you'll think the stuff that I talk about is probably crazy, and that's fine. To each their own. Um, but like I said, I'll preach this for the rest of my life. It saved my life. It changed my life. So much healing happened. Like I said, I've always known that there was more to this reality than what meets the eye. Um, so yeah, the dark side of ayahuasca is you will no longer be the person that you were. You're going to be a more evolved version of yourself. You're going to be more in tune with nature. You're going to understand that everything is one. We are all one. We are all connected. So for example, like we have a lot of pain and suffering happening in the Middle East. We're on the brink of World War III, they say. So you may see that as separate from us, but whatever happens there, it happens to us all. It happens to the collective. And that's one of the key takeaways that I've taken away from my ayahuasca experience, is that we are all one. We are all connected. There's no, when we come into this life, when we come into this existence, it's this illusion of separation. It's this illusion of forgetting who you really are. We come into this life with an amnesia. And the whole point of this life is to remember who you are. And I want you to know that you are not the programs you've been given, the labels. You're not the body. You're not even the mind. You are the soul. You are the spirit inside of your body navigating this human experience. And I think a lot of people are beginning to understand that. It's starting to become more accepted. Personally for me, Christianity and some of these other religions just didn't really resonate for me. I knew that there was something more, and I've always been seeking, searching. It started with conspiracy theories, and then spirituality kind of led me to spirituality, and then one thing led to another. Therapy led me to ayahuasca, and I just want you to know that this reality, it's so much more than you think it is. And for the seeker, for the person with an open mind, seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. This reality is stranger than fiction. So 1 year since my ayahuasca is, like I said, I've become the version of myself that I was always meant to be. I found, I was already finding my passion and my purpose, with the DJ, with the music, with the podcast. I was already on the path, but ayahuasca just showed me even more that I'm on the path, and it helped me heal myself. Like I said, I talk about this a lot, but I want you to know that trauma is stored in your DNA. It's passed down from generation to generation, and previous generations didn't know this knowledge, they didn't know this information, and they just go along their lives. Maybe they have anxiety, they have depression, they have these things, and they don't feel right, and they don't know why. So they just numb themselves with alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, sex, pornography, whatever it is. At work, there's a lot of workaholics out there. So a lot of people just go about their lives just numbing themselves, and they don't take accountability for their lives. And like I said, in my research, what I found is that trauma is stored in your DNA. We all go through trauma in life, some more than others. But the most important thing is, and that's crazy to understand, is that even beyond the trauma that you go through in your life, it's passed down to you. So you may have had an average life, an okay life, and you still just don't feel right, and you don't know why, and I had to find out. I come to find that my dad passed down his trauma to me. you know he had a lot of things that happened in his life, and it was passed on to me, and that on top of my own traumas, right? And so there's a big spiritual revolution happening, a big spiritual renaissance happening right now, and I love to see it. And I'm part of this community. I'm owning it now. I'm coming out of the closet, coming out of the spiritual closet. I'm part of this community, and it just helped me understand my life so much more. All the pain, the suffering, the rejections, the different things that happened in my life. There was a lot of good times, but there was also the bad times, and it just helped me make more sense of my life. And you know, I've come to find, how do I say this without being like egotistical, but there's different levels of consciousness in this reality. We're all at different levels of consciousness, and there's a lot of people that are still asleep, still asleep, and that's fine, man. That's all right, you don't know any better, and I would say that I'm a little bit more of an advanced soul. I've always seen this reality as an illusion. I've always noticed synchronicities. I've always just, even as a kid, I've always spent a lot of time in nature, just looking around, just pondering, like a philosopher, like trying to sit under the tree, and hopefully an apple would fall, and I would discover gravity. I was always, I wanted to be like, was that Isaac Newton, right? I've always been that kind of way. This is something that people don't know about me, is I've always been this way, spending a lot of time in nature, just pondering, deep in thought, reflecting, trying to make sense of the world. And ayahuasca was a massive download. I like to see it as a download. Like I downloaded all of this information in that experience. A lot of it was intuitive knowings that I already knew, that I had a hunch about, but ayahuasca was like the massive download that just showed me that a lot of the things that I had an intuitive knowing about, it just showed it, and reality just makes a lot more sense now. So if there's anything that I could leave you with, is a few things here. This reality is some form of an illusion. So even beyond the illusion, I want you to know that death is an illusion. We have this reality, we have this life backwards. See, I come out here in nature and just appreciate the simple, beautiful things. Looking at these beautiful boxers, these dogs just running around, how free they feel and how happy they are. And look at a hummingbird right here, just right next to me. You guys got to get out in nature. Um, Come out in nature, and you're going to feel so much more connected. But yeah, so if I could leave you with anything, is that this reality is some form of an illusion. Death is an illusion. Death is an illusion. What did Albert Einstein say? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. We are eternal beings. We are eternal spiritual beings made in the image of God. Whatever you conceive God to be, God is so much more than a man in the sky with a beard. God is, I like what Rex Bundy said on my podcast. God is that thing that is just over the horizon. God is, it's energy. It's so much more than we can even begin to understand. It's not a man in the sky with a beard. It's something more than we can even comprehend. It's that which is just over the horizon. And you'll go your entire life searching, trying to meet God, trying to talk to God. And some people have these experiences, um, but I think it is something that is just beyond the horizon. You'll get close. That's the way I see this reality too, is like you can get closer to the truth, but you'll never know the truth. You'll go your entire life searching. And so that's kind of where I'm at on my journey now, is just understanding that um, I'm getting a lot closer to the truth, and that's why I'm putting out this content on my YouTube channel. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom that I want to share, and I doubt myself a lot, and there's a lot of people that I know that know that I'm on this journey, and no one really asks for my input or my advice. So I'm just gonna put it out, man. It's therapeutic for me too. Like, it gives me meaning, it gives me purpose. This is me leaving my legacy behind. I'm on the path. I've always been on the path. I've had some setbacks, but I'm here now, and I'm on it, and I'm pushing out my art, man. They say in life that you don't want to die in this lifetime with your song still inside of you. Sing that fucking song, man. Excuse my language, but sing that song. Sing that song before you die. Share your story. I also, one day I'd like to make a movie about my life. I have so many stories, and it's been literally a hero's journey from darkness to light. I've found light through the darkness. I've seeked my whole life. I've been on this seeking journey, and one day I would like to make a movie. And so this is me singing my song, sharing my story, and for the people that resonate, cool. The people that don't, that's fine. Um, so I'm just here to share the information. So like I said, um, this reality is some kind of an illusion. Death is an illusion. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. You've probably lived multiple lives, and you will continue to live lives. Um, that's as far as I've gotten. I need to research more on it. Um, like I said, on this journey, you begin to search, you begin to seek, and you start to find some of the answers, and it's never ending. And then it just goes deeper and deeper, and so you can start to get kind of overwhelmed with all of the information. But yeah, if I could leave you with any information, it's that this reality is some form of an illusion. Death is an illusion. Don't be afraid of death, man. Your soul is on a journey. Let me put it that way. Your soul is on a spiritual journey, navigating this human experience. You're here to learn lessons. You're gonna die, and you're gonna be born again. So I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe in karma, and so there's like a main story that your soul is trying to learn. Um, and there's probably some baggage and some lessons from previous lifetimes that you are still trying to figure out. And I think, in Hinduism in India, they talk about the wheel of karma, right? The wheel of reincarnation. I think they call it samadhi, and there's also this concept of the bodhisattva. I would consider myself some form of a bodhisattva, which is an advanced soul. And then people have called me a light worker, a star seed, intuitive empath. I've been throwing all these different labels. I don't know what to label me. I just know that I've always been a little bit different than the average person, deep thinker. I've always seen this reality for more than what it is. So I don't know. I don't know what to call me. I just know that I'm on the journey, and I have a lot of wisdom. And here's the thing: I had this internal conflict about coming out of the spiritual closet. I've really had this internal conflict about doing this and talking about this, because some people are going to think this is kind of crazy topics or whatever. But I had this internal conflict where I was like, what if I'm wrong? You know, but what if I'm right? I've always had this internal conflict where I was like, like, if I'm right and I don't share this information, then it goes to waste. But if I'm wrong and I do share the information, then so what? People can call me crazy or whatever, like whatever, like that's fine. If I'm wrong and I'm talking about these things, whatever, call me crazy. So I had to accept that. But like I said, what if I'm right? What if I'm right and I and I don't share the information? Then it goes to waste. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the risk, and I'm gonna put this information out there, and you'll find, there's a lot of spiritual people. There's a big spiritual awakening happening. We're entering the age of Aquarius, the golden age of humanity, and it may seem like there's a lot of darkness on this earth, but the darkness it's been here all along. But there's a big spiritual renaissance, a big spiritual awakening happening, and the light workers, we're holding the light, and we're shining the light, and it's illuminating that darkness. And it may seem like the world's getting chaotic, but no, the light is winning, and the darkness is playing its final cards. And so yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I used to get triggered when I would see satanic imagery and people, these artists. You'll start to notice some of these musicians that they say that they sign their soul to the devil and this and that. And I used to get triggered, and I'd be like, man, like I'd want to argue with some of these artists and stuff like that. And I had a deep reflection one day where I really finally understood what this reality is, and that's why I've always resonated with the yin yang symbol. We live in a world with so much programming. We live in a world with so much, duality, hot and cold, black and white, good and bad. No, that's all wrong. These are all, what do you call it, two sides of the same coin. The darkness has a purpose. When you see someone who's in that darkness, don't be triggered. You know what that darkness needs? It needs your light even more. So evil and good, this reality is all encompassing. The yin yang symbol is a perfect representation of that. The masculine, the feminine, hot, cold, light, dark, good, bad, fast, slow, all these different things, we see them as separate, but it's two sides of the same coin. For example, fast and slow, are those two separate things? No, they're not. They are the same thing on a scale, on a spectrum. Fast and slow are units of a measurement of speed on the spectrum of speed. Hot and cold, are those two separate things? No, it's measurements of temperature, so it's on a spectrum, the spectrum of temperature. So same thing, good and evil. Who's to say what's good and what's evil? You know, see, this is where it starts to get like really profound, and I hope I'm planting these seeds of wisdom, and that you begin to understand. Good and evil, are those two separate things? Who's to say what is good and what is evil? I think there's light and there's dark, but it's two sides of the same coin on the spectrum of this reality. And like I said, it keeps everything in balance. Um, I enjoy hearing about other people's ayahuasca experiences. And the one guy was talking about how in his journey he felt like he met God, and God was talking to him, and he had kind of like a out of body experience, and he blasted up into space, and God showed him Earth. He was looking down at Earth, and the guy was asking God, well, why is Earth so painful, and why is there so much darkness on the Earth, and what is the meaning of life? Asking all these questions, right? And God just showed him Earth. And as this guy was looking down on Earth, God told him, "Look it, can't you see? It's in perfect balance. It's in perfect harmony. Can't you see it?" And that's when you begin to understand that this creation is so beautiful. It's so magical. It's so magical. Don't be triggered by the darkness. Don't be triggered by people who have a different philosophy than you. Don't be triggered by people who believe in a different religion than you. There's so many different religions around the world, and the way I see it is like, yeah, like, how can you say that you're right and they're wrong? Like, these are different people with different cultures and different stories, different timelines. They're making sense of their location and their culture. And when you really look at it from a higher perspective, you begin to realize that they're all kind of saying the same thing. And so what is that same thing? The answer is love. Love. The answer is love. You can live a life in fear, or you can live a life in love. And so, yeah, I hope that you find value in this video. I hope that I've sparked some curiosity within your mind, within your heart. And so here's the thing, like I said, key takeaways. This reality is an illusion. Death is an illusion. I believe in karma. I believe in reincarnation. Um, and the whole point of your life is to remember who you are. I encourage you to go on your own journey of seeking. You're not the name, you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're the soul, you're the spirit. You are God. You are a piece of God and you forgot. So I encourage you to seek and you shall find. Explore your consciousness, explore your soul. The whole purpose of life is to pursue your passion, pursue your purpose, and go towards the light. Heal yourself, heal the trauma that was passed down to you, and spread that light. Thanks.